So, good morning, class. Hope all of you are doing well. We start with the third unit of your syllabus, which is on risk management through bonds. So, before we start with the working of bonds and how do you see how the bond has performed, which is basically known as the bond yield, we'll first get an overview of the debt market in India, what kind of debt instruments are available in the Indian debt market, and what does the scenario of the Indian debt market looks like. So before I start, anyone has any idea about the kind of debt instruments that are available for, say, trading in the market? What kind of debt instruments are available in the Indian financial market? You can put the examples in the chat box. Yes, so the simplest example being bonds and debentures. Again, government securities, debentures, treasury bills, very good. So, commercial bills, yes, debentures, okay, commercial papers, fixed deposit. Fixed deposit, okay, yes, in the sense that bank is making a borrowing. Yes, any other example? So, yes, most of you have shared the common examples of the debt instruments available. What is common to all these instruments is that they are in the form of a borrowing, where the issuer is acknowledging that they are borrowing a certain amount of money from the purchaser, from the lender, for a fixed period of time for which they will be paying the interest, and they are also promising that they will be returning the amount borrowed at the end of the tenure of the security. So we say that debt instruments are actually in form of a IOU instrument. So IOU is basically that I, that is the issuer, owes the money to the borrower. So this is an acknowledgement of the debt taken. Now this arrangement enables the company, the borrowing company, to meet a number of requirements. The fund requirements can range for objectives like you need funds for capital expansion, capital project you need to undertake, you want to enter a new market. Sometimes there is a crunch in funds, and fund requirements may also be for meeting the working capital requirements of the business. If I talk about the simplest example of a debt instrument, then your the loans that you take from a bank or credit cards. These are the simplest examples of a debt instrument, wherein you know that you have to return the money, the principal amount borrowed, along with the interest that is due on the instrument. Now they can range in duration from a period less than 1 year to a period more than 1 year also. So accordingly, they are categorized as money market instruments, which have a debt tenure of less than 1 year. So the examples there would be your commercial papers, certificate of deposit, treasury bills, and then again your commercial bills, which have a validity of up to 1 year. would also be a money market debt instrument. On the other hand, the ones which have a longer time period, longer duration, like your long-term loans, generally debentures and bonds also have a longer duration, so they become the capital market instruments. Now, loan would not be a capital market instrument, but they are example. It's an example of a long-term debt instrument. Moving further, very simple topic, how are debt instruments different from equity instruments? So this has been repeated multiple times that debt instruments do not give any right to ownership in the company in which you are investing the money. Neither are you getting any voting rights, but they are very safe in the sense that you are assured of a fixed amount every time period which is mentioned in the debt instrument. So the interval at which you will be receiving the interest is already mentioned in the terms and conditions at the time of issue, and also at the time of winding up of the company, the debt instrument holders have a right. They have they are given priority before the equity holders. So, in that sense, at the time of distribution of the income and at the time of winding up of the company, that is settling the claims of the company, the debt instrument holders are given a priority over the equity holders. So let's discuss the common debt instruments one by one. The first is a bond. Bond is a borrowing by a corporate or a government institution on which they will be paying the interest as already told. Now, obviously, this works on the it's a fiduciary kind of relationship. Fiduciary relationships are where there is inbuilt trust. So the trust is that the borrower, that is the company which is issuing a bond, will be returning the money, the principal amount, as well as will be paying the interest payments with certainty. A similar instrument is a debenture. The only difference between the two being that debentures are generally unsecured. They do not carry any lien or collateral, lien on the assets of the company, or they are not collateralized. But bonds are almost every time secured and generally issued by government and big financial institutions. So that is the reason when we compare a bond with a debenture, the in comparison, a bond is more secure as compared to a debenture, and hence the interest which will be paid will be higher on a debenture. The comparatively risk factor debenture में ज़्यादा है, so the interest offered on a debenture will also be higher than a bond. So simply speaking, these are the 3 points of difference between a debenture and a bond. Though the term is used interchangeably, but there are minor differences between the two instruments. Okay, moving further, now we talk about the instruments which we were saying are tradable in the market. The first money market instrument here is a commercial paper. Now, commercial papers are money market instruments, so which means they can be issued for a maximum duration up to 365 days. Now, that is counted as 364 days. You can see that the commercial paper can be in either of these durations. Now, at the time of issue itself, you know what it will be the amount. that you will be receiving at the time of redemption. So the return is specified in the sense that they are generally issued at discount and redeemed at par. जब डिस्काउंट का जो इशू होता है उसमें रिडेम्पशन जब पार पे है तो डिफरेंस बिटवीन दी टू से द इंस्ट्रूमेंट as a face value commercial paper. Uh, Simply speaking, otherwise they are issued in multiples of 5 lakh. अगर 100 रुपए का हाइपोथेटिकली इंस्ट्रूमेंट है 98 पर इशू हो रहा है then the difference 2 rupees is the return that you will be earning. Now commercial papers can be issued by only the companies who are eligible under the guidelines, which you can see that the latest tangible net worth is at least 4 CR, and then they need to seek permission from RBI to issue commercial papers. Tangible net worth, yes, it can be market value, but you are not including the value of intangibles like your goodwills or any patents that you are carrying. So that is what the difference becomes. Okay, so here you are seeing the equity, basically the equity holding of the company. Okay, apart from this, the the entities who are allowed to invest in CPs, you can see individuals, banking companies, corporate bodies are allowed they are issued at discount and then they are issued in multiples of 5 lakh. Now, this reason itself leads to very low individual or retail participation in the commercial paper market because the denomination is high. Another instrument which is issued in the money market is a certificate of deposit. Now, certificate of deposit is again a borrowing made by a bank or a financial institution. It is very similar to a fixed deposit. So, you are depositing the money with a bank, the duration is specified, generally a period less than 1 year, in multiples of 1 lakh, and you are earning the interest on the same. Again, they are issued at a discount and redeemed at par. So, approval needs to be taken from RBI for issuing this instrument. Okay, here I have listed out treasury bills. So, treasury bills, T-bills are issued by government to raise money in for short-term requirements, and similar to CDs and CPs, they are also issued at discount and they are redeemed at par. So generally, the banks, if I talk about the players in these instruments in the money market, then bank and financial institutions who have to meet the reserve requirements. So reserve requirements are your cash reserve ratio, your SLR statutory liquidity ratio. तो जब इनको fortnightly ये meet करनी होती हैं requirements, so they invest in these instruments. So this market is the if I talk about the liquidity in the market or the trading in the market, so it is limited to big investors. So retail participation in the money market is limited. And if I talk about broadly speaking about the debt market, then the Indian debt market, the vibrancy is seen more in the government securities market. The private debt market or the corporate debt market, so as to say, is not that deep. Okay, and over the years, number of steps have been taken and are being taken by RBI and SEBI to improve the participation. But as compared to the other forms of financial markets, as compared to equity, if I say, and this is still a market whose potential has not been tapped. There's still a lot of potential in the market. So, uh, here you can see that Indian debt market, otherwise in terms of volumes, is one of the largest in Asia. But again, as already told, it is the government security market, which is the oldest and the largest component of the Indian debt market in terms of market capitalization, volume, and outstanding securities. Now, for any economy, the government security market plays a very vital role because the benchmark rate of interest is determined. जो हम risk free rate of interest बोलते हैं वो आपको government security market से मिलता है. Also, RBI is a very active participant in this market, and as told, the big financial institution, banks, corporates, they find this market, the bond market as a whole, the debt market as a whole, very beneficial for meeting their long-term and short-term debt requirements. Now, debt market ensures more stability in the system because it is a supplement to equity. So, firms which are not comfortable sharing the ownership rights or voting rights with the investors, they prefer the debt market route. Okay, again, easily not it's not easy to meet all the fund requirements from the equity market, so debt market is a very feasible alternative. It is creating a new class of investors. People who are hesitant to invest in the equity market find debt market to be a safer option. So reduces currency mismatches in the sense that your interest rates are being determined here, your local currency bonds are being issued, FIIs are investing here. So one thing is you have additional funds, and second is that the requirement, the purchase and sale in the local currency in this market has an impact on the currency rate also. All this we will do in detail when we'll be doing the working of the debt instruments, and monetary policy very close to the debt market in the sense that reserve requirements, CRR कितना होना चाहिए, SLR कितना है, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन जो हो रही है मॉनेटरी मार्केट की वो यहाँ से शुरू होती है. जो आपकी मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी की इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होती है, that starts from here and then it has a subsequent effect on the other sectors of the economy. So let's now move to bonds because this is what we'll be covering in detail in this unit. As already told, bonds are instruments of borrowing, and they specify the time period, the interest rate, and the duration is specified at the time of issue. So basic bond characteristics, they have a maturity date defined. They can be secured or unsecured. Generally secured, we call them as bonds. The unsecured are known as debentures. कूपन रेट जो हम इंटरेस्ट रेट बोलते हैं एक्चुअल में जो करेक्ट टर्मिनोलॉजी है दैट इज कूपन. So the coupon payment might be done on monthly basis, quarterly basis, and generally it is not. It is on annual basis. So otherwise there can be debt issues which have quarterly or semi-annual interest payment. Okay, there are many bonds which get a tax exemption status. Generally जो bonds issue होते हैं real estate जो bonds होते हैं उसमें tax exemption भी होती है. Then the terms and conditions of the bonds are known as bond indentures. And there's another term you are seeing here, which is known as callability. So when we'll be talking about the types of bonds, we will be discussing that there are two types of bonds. One is a callable bond on the basis of the flexibility. कॉलेबल बॉन्ड होता है और एक पुटेबल बॉन्ड होता है. तो यहाँ पर समझाने के लिए कॉलेबल बॉन्ड is a bond that can be called by the issuer for redemption before the maturity date. So, if at any point of time the issuer feels that he is in a position to pay off the redemption value, then they can go for exercising of this option under a callable bond. Just think and tell me, why would an issuer call a bond before the maturity? Why would the issuer call a bond before the maturity? अभी टाइम ड्यूरेशन लेफ्ट है. Try to make the effort or exercise this option. Any guesses here? The company which has issued a callable bond already knows कि क्या interest rate pay करना है. Then why would it exercise the callability option? What kind of change is taking place in the market which would make the company exercise this option? इंटरेस्ट रेट इंक्रीज होगा, बेंचमार्क इंटरेस्ट रेट मार्केट में इंक्रीज होगा या डिक्रीज होगा. So the government under the monetary policy say the benchmark interest rate in the market has increased or decreased. Under which scenario will the callable option be exercised? Anyone? I'll explain it again. आपकी कंपनी, आप say your company has issued a callable bond. अब कॉलेबल बॉन्ड में ऑप्शन होती है कि आप टाइम पीरियड से पहले भी कॉल कर सकते हो. The issuers you can call, sorry, the investors you can call that they need to return back the bond and you will redeem the due value to them, the redemption value. एक कंपनी किस सिनेरियो में ये ऑप्शन एक्सरसाइज करेगी? नाउ इट्स नॉट कंपल्सरी, इट इज एन ऑप्शन. व्हेन वुड अ कंपनी एक्सरसाइज दिस ऑप्शन? So I'm asking you to relate it to interest rate movements in the market. तो कंपनी के लिए कब
Ma'am,
बेनिफिशियल? हाँ हाँ,
ma'am, when current interest rate drops below the interest rate on the bond.
वेरी गुड, एब्सोल्युटली राइट. तो जो मार्केट इंटरेस्ट रेट है, आपने जब बॉन्ड इशू करा, आपने 9% बॉन्ड इशू करा हुआ है फॉर से 5 years. 2 years into the bond issue, the rate of interest in the market falls to 8%. You would not like to continue with the 9% bond. It would be better if you call back the bonds issued, and if there's still fund requirement, you can now make a fresh issue of 8% bonds. So in that sense, it helps the issuing company to save on money outflows when there is a drop in the market interest. And the second term I was using was a पुटेबल बॉन्ड. तो वहां पर ये जो ऑप्शन होती है रिटर्न करने की वो इन्वेस्टर के पास होती है, दैट दे हैव द option to return back the bond, claim the redemption amount from the issuing company before the due date. So let's move to the types of bonds, then I'll explain this in more detail there. So simple first category of bonds would be convertible and non-convertible bonds. So non-convertible bonds are those which have no option of being converted to equity. Convertible bonds would be the ones where there is an option to convert the debt instrument out into equity after a specific period of time. Now, NCDs or non-convertible bonds can be secured or unsecured, जिनमें collateral है, जिनमें कंपनी assets पे lien होता है, उसको हम claim होता है, उसको हम secured debt instrument बोलते हैं, जहाँ पर assets पर कोई claim नहीं है, that would be an unsecured debt instrument. Partially convertible bond would be that after a point of time, a part of the bond can be converted into equity. Then there's another term you see here, which is secured premium notes. Is this slide visible? So secured premium notes is a type of hybrid security. Hybrid जहाँ पर both features of equity and debt are available. तो जब ये बॉन्ड्स इशू होते हैं इसमें एक शेयर वारंट की ऑप्शन होती है. शेयर वारंट क्या होता है? एक डिटैचेबल वारंट होता है जिसको आप अलग से जिसमें ट्रेड कर सकते हो. लॉक इन पीरियड होता है इन इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स में. After the lock-in period, you have the option of converting these warrants into equity shares. So SPN can be issued only by listed companies. Proper approval from the central government is needed, and these instruments give you the option of converting the warrants attached into equity shares. So ये kind of partial convertible bond हो गया. Moving further to the next category, I have explained you the features of SPN. Here you can see that Tisco Tata Steel was the first company in India to issue a secured premium note. Obviously, if you are offering this kind of feature, you can get more attractive rates for your bonds. Then redeemable and irredeemable, जहाँ पर time duration specified है, redemption की validity tenure specified है, that would be a redeemable debenture. Irredeemable, no time period specified. Secured, unsecured, I have already explained you. Callable and puttable bond. Callable bonds where the option is given to the company to buy back, repay the bonds. In puttable bonds, this option is given to the investor. Callable bonds would be exercised, the call option under the bond would be exercised if there is a drop in the interest rate in the market and the company feels that it would save on the outflows by calling the by exercising the call option. बिल्कुल opposite put suitable bonds का होगा, meaning investor would exercise the put option under these bonds when they find that there has been an increase in the market interest rate and alternative bonds जो हैं वो ज़्यादा अट्रैक्टिव लग रहे हैं। तो 8% बॉन्ड वापस करके रिडेम्पशन मनी लेके कंपनी से now the investor can invest in a 9% bond. So there has been an increase in the market interest rate and now they want to invest in a bond with a higher return. Next is a zero coupon bond. So zero coupon rate zero hai. There is no interest rate on the bond. They are issued at discount and they are redeemed at par. तो 100 रुपी फेस वैल्यू है बॉन्ड की 96 पर इशू होता है over the life of the bond there is no interest payment by the issuer but at the time of redemption you have paid the face value of the bond so the difference between issue and face value becomes your return on the bond. Now, in zero coupon bonds, you have another category which is a deep discount bonds. इसमें जो discount होता है वो zero coupon bonds से ज़्यादा होता है। तो अब 96, 97 पर ना issue होके bond is being issued at a discount which can be up to 20% of the face value of the bond. जब मैं बात करूँ से फॉर एग्जांपल 98 जो जनरली 99 पर जीरो कूपन बॉन्ड इशू हो रहा है वो यहाँ पर अराउंड 98 रुपीज में इशू हो रहा है इस पे डिस्काउंट ज़्यादा है। So also if we talk about the difference between the two, a zero coupon bond has a duration more than the deep discount bond have duration more than zero coupon bonds. Tax-free bonds already told that they have tax exemption and generally जो real estate infrastructure जो bonds होते हैं वो tax-free bonds होते हैं. Junk bonds are risky bonds. Junk means trash. So junk bonds, they are bonds which have a very low credit rating, making them very risky investment. But because of this high risk, you also have the possibility of earning a very high return. Then treasury, corporate bonds, treasury bonds would be the government bonds, corporate bonds, private कंपनीज और कॉरपोरेशंस जो इशू कर रही हैं म्यूनिसिपल बॉन्ड्स म्यूनिसिपैलिटीज इशू कर रही हैं देन फ्लोटिंग रेट बॉन्ड जहाँ पर इंटरेस्ट रेट is fluctuating with the fluctuation in the market interest rate. So the return on the bond is tied to some market rate. So here the benchmark rate can be US Treasury bill, Indian Treasury bill, LIBOR. What is LIBOR? Anyone? LIBOR, if you have heard of. It is the London Interbank rate, generally currency markets. Yes, Nipun. तो जनरली करेंसी मार्केट्स के लिए बेंचमार्क रेट होता है तो इट इज एवरेज ऑफ द इंटरेस्ट रेट्स offered. Yeah, so that's the current situation right now. So it's generally the interest rate that is averaged out on the basis of the interest rate being offered by some of the major global banks. So this acts as a benchmark rate in the currency market. Okay, so we will stop here. We have covered the basic background of the bond market in India, and tomorrow we will start with the terms and